Okay, if you turn to page 4. Sanje juda zoge chonamlo chanjo babdo dane kyabso che dage jinso kebe sonam tola venjir sanje dubara sho sanje juda soge chonam chanjo babdo dane kyabso che dage jinso kebe sonam tola venjir sanje dubara sho sanje juda soge chonamlo chanjo babdo dane kyabso che Dage jinso gebe sonam tola penjir sanje dubara sho. Tinte nyingbu mantra, Essence of Dependent Origination Mantra, page 4, page 4, page 5, page 6, page 6. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam Hetum tesham dathagato hyavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye svaha Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam Hetum tesham dathagato hyavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye svaha Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam Hetum tesham dathagato hyavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye svaha. Meaning of the mantra. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation causes as well is taught by the great seer. Okay, this mantra is extremely important, and let me quickly give you the how do we apply this mantra. And oftentimes, in a way, I'm glad that almost all of you who are here, you came here with the desire to learn something. That's very important. And this mantra, when recited, people oftentimes wherever you go in the different places, in Buddhist place, the Christians, Hindus, Muslims, Jains, wherever there's some mantra there, people believe that to bring some the auspiciousness or some magic happen. But to be very realistic, see that as I already informed you, for example, Venerable Dejan last year, who by profession, she was a nurse for all these many years and now turned towards Buddhism. And then many of my friends here who came from the different places to here. So there, the thing is that we need to learn how to be very practical. So this mantra, and just imagine one morning I received a call from the lady. And then this lady was saying that, Geshe, I'm going to give up Buddhism. Give up Buddhism means I'm going to quit Buddhism. I said, it's okay. And she's saying, I'm very serious. I'm serious, I'm going to give up Buddhism. I said, that's fine, you can give Buddhism. What's the problem? Again, she was insisting. She was, in a way, provoking me to ask a question, why? Why are you doing that? And then I asked why. And she said that the last 3 years she became a Buddhist. And she said that I've been praying to Buddha, I'm praying to Tara. So here we have Aritara above us. I'm praying to Buddha, I've been praying to Tara. And my prayers were never answered. I said, what prayer were you making? And she said that I'm praying that my brother should get a job. My brother should get a job. Then I told him that, look, our attitude, say, studying Buddhism, learning about Buddhism is not necessary. That of course, some of you, some of us, we feel that okay, this is the so precious, so auspicious, and so valuable, and some of us we learn this in the form of a knowledge, very important knowledge. And then I told her that okay, if you are hungry, if you are hungry, don't pray to Buddha. Go to kitchen. You understand what I'm saying? If you're hungry, don't pray to Buddha. Go to kitchen. Make some food and eat it. If you're sick, don't pray to Buddha. Go to hospital. The doctors will help you. So, and if you if you want a brother to get a job, don't become a Buddhist. Tell your brother, don't go to the pubs. Don't go to nightclubs. Instead, study well. Sit for the UPSC exam. Clear the exam. Get a decent job. You don't have to become a Buddhist. So the idea is that we should be extremely open-minded. We should be practical. What do you want? That can be accomplished by its own courses. Without gathering the courses, if you look for a shortcut, it'll never work. It's just waste of your time. So it will turn into a blind faith. Blind faith will never take you to any meaningful, the goals. So therefore, the message here, this mantra, is to show a mirror to us. Mirror to us. If you don't want suffering, and suffering is the result of creating pains on others. Don't create pains on others. If you want happiness, happiness is the result of being kind to others. Be kind to others. This is a message. So by reciting this mantra, for example, I recite this mantra every day. When I recite the mantra, I'm not expecting, Buddha, please give me enlightenment. No, real enlightenment is in your hands. It's in your hands. And which this morning we discovered, this morning we discussed that the treasure underneath the floor, the treasure, this extremely precious treasure. Okay, is it anybody who likes to share with us what is the greatest of the treasure in the world? What do you think? Just speak your mind. The treasure. Anyone? Treasure, people can understand it on different levels. Anyone? What do you think is the greatest treasure in the world? Any treasure. Okay, this is Lumla.
The Tathagata Garbha.
Tathagata Garbha, the essence of it is known as the ultimate source of happiness within yourself. The treasure, ultimate source of happiness within yourself. Okay, any other treasures you can think of? Inner peace, inner peace. Yes, Dr. La? Yes. Through the mic, it's being recorded. So that 100 years later, people will recall you. Yes. What do you think? What kind of treasure? There are different treasures.
To help all sentient beings.
To help all sentient beings, amazing. And children left behind.
Peace of mind.
Peace of mind, peace of mind. Okay, so for example, in practical terms, the external wealth, the money, there's also one treasure. There's nothing wrong in it. There's nothing wrong. It's very important. If we neglect the external, the treasures, and yes, of course, there are few, like just Milarepa, these great masters, they are different. Otherwise, most of us, we have to depend on external treasures, like wealth, power. These things are very important. So, with this, then we can benefit so many other people. So, finally what? Finally, peace of mind, to help others. These are extremely precious. Meanwhile, we begin by saying, what I would say is that, okay, let's say Dr. La, let me ask a question to Dr. Le. My question is that Dr. Le says that helping others is the real treasure. So you keep helping others, and then finally nobody comes to help you. What do you think? What do you really think?
Uh, as in the morning, the boy was saying, I'll be very depressed.
Exactly, exactly. So the thing is that, so therefore, what we're going to learn from here, as Dr. Lam very clearly indicated, what we need to learn from here is that the first thing is make sure that you are happy. This is so important that you are happy. If you're not happy, you cannot export your happiness to others. If you don't have the gold, you cannot export gold to others. How many agree with me? Raise hands. If you don't have the gold, you cannot export gold, right? So therefore, first thing is that you need to be happy. This is so important. But when you say, I need to be happy, I need to be happy, there are two ways of approaching happiness. One, by looking for external factors. Always external factors for happiness, and you eventually can become a billionaire. But mentally, you can be a very unhappy person. Or you can be the most powerful person, still you can be extremely unhappy person. And you can be a celebrity like Hollywood celebrities or the Bollywood celebrities. They have to keep on depending on tranquilizers, which means to keep the mind calm and peaceful. Ajala, your name, Ajala, sorry, Chutunla, right? Your name,
Uh, Jordan.
Jimin Chutunla. So as Ajala said, peace of mind. Say the wealth doesn't guarantee. Power doesn't guarantee. Celebrities, you become a celebrity, doesn't guarantee that you have peace of mind. So therefore people are so unhappy. See, many people in the cinema world, they go through depressions, deep, deep depressions. So this is what all these, my friends who came from outside, they know all these stories. So the thing is that the first thing to be in your mind that I should make sure that I'm happy. Then the next thing is that how to make myself happy. This is the next question. How to make myself happy. So with this, then later on, as Dr. has said, say help others, and then this girl, this is Bigila, this Biggie, this Bigila, and this Nubala, both of them said to become enlightened for the benefit of all sentient beings, for yourself and for all sentient beings. So this is amazing. In fact, I start by saying that first you should be happy. I should be happy. You should be happy. First, make sure that you are happy. This is so important. Then, if you miss that part, there's no way by which you can help others. So, by making yourself happy, you feel that you are safeguarded. But then you will come to realize that when I ask a question, what degree of happiness do you want? What degree of happiness do you want? Then I said that you should be happy. So what degree of happiness that you want? 10%, 40%, 50%, 100%. What degree of happiness do you want? Okay, Sahil, what do you say? What degree of happiness? If don't say possible, not possible. Don't. I'm just asking what degree. If possible,
Complete happiness.
if possible, what degree of happiness do you want? 10%, 50%, 80%,
100%.
90%, 100%.
100%.
Okay, how many agree with Sahil? If possible, 100%. Yes, this is the meaning of being practical. The next question is it possible? Can we have this 100% happiness possible? So for that, then what Dr. said and what the other said, that on that high level, at the moment, what happiness do you have? How many you get some happiness once in a while, resents? Sometimes when somebody celebrates your birthday, happy, right? Okay. So that happiness and what you want is you want if possible 100% happiness, full happiness, maximum happiness. So to get this, when you talk about the short-term happiness, is we don't really have to depend too much on others. We can create it ourselves. But the long-term happiness, which means 100% happiness or maximum happiness, for that, we need to know how to get it. So for this, at the moment, I'm going to just make a statement. I'm going to make a statement, and later on, you have to ask these questions. Ask these questions. We have to discuss in your group discussion as well as in the class. We need to discuss how. So the statement that I would make here is that the maximum happiness equals to maximum sharing, maximum compassion. Maximum compassion and maximum happiness, these two are synonymous. So therefore, what Dr. has said, to benefit others is the maximum compassion. So maximum compassion gives you the maximum happiness, but you can note it down. Note it down, and later on you have to ask. Particularly, there are many of them here who came all the way from faraway places, and they would be so happy to help you with these answers. So maximum happiness for yourself. Your maximum happiness equals to maximum compassion. Your maximum happiness equals to universal compassion. Universal compassion. These two are synonymous. Maximum happiness for yourself equals to the universal compassion for everyone. Okay, now the question is, how do we know? How do we know that on that level, seeking maximum happiness for yourself is actually to be of maximum compassion to others? Okay, this is what we need to discuss. So with this in mind, the what we said this morning and now, what we said is that the greatest of the treasure in this world is, now if there is the maximum happiness, that becomes the greatest treasure. You agree? So for example, like the children, as children have said, peace of mind, maximum peace of mind. Maximum peace of mind, maximum happiness equals to maximum benefiting others. And how? This we have to learn. So that is a treasure. In other words, the real treasure, in one sense, we can say the maximum happiness within you, that is the real treasure. And then on the other hand, we can also say that, universal compassion is the greatest of the treasure. Because universal compassion makes sure that you have the maximum happiness, maximum peace of mind. Universal compassion. So when you speak about universal compassion, it's not about religion. It's about the human quality. It's the humanity. For example, so this morning, my friend, Taraji, a lawyer, isn't? Yes, Taraji, who came from Delhi, a lawyer, very senior lawyer. And so he was just sharing with me about, how this quality of affection, the mother's love, is universal to human beings, animals, to everyone. This universal quality of mother's love. Just imagine that if everybody feels this motherly love towards others, there's no room for wars. How many agree with me? Raise hands. If anybody feels there's universal love towards others, there's no tension amongst the individuals, the family tension, the neighbors tension, the global tension, global war, the wars, international, the border tensions, all these tensions will be just gone. So that is where the universal compassion comes to you. Your tension dissolves. Your tension dissolves, and this we'll discuss more later, because this is a very important point. Okay, for the time being, let us turn to 37 Bodhisattvas. Just see that as we study this, which is on the Blaze, page 141. In the Blaze meaning the red book, and a small book, page 70, page 73. A small booklet, page 73, and the Blaze, page 141, 141. Okay. Now keep in mind that So what we said, can I also, when I share my thoughts with you, just see if you agree with me. If you don't agree, don't need to agree. If you don't agree, say just raise your hands, or you can discuss with amongst yourselves, and also bring this up in the class. Raise your hands. Oh, you said this, but I have a qualm. I have a question to this. You can just bring the questions freely. So, can I safely say that if somebody asks you what's the purpose of life, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, 2008, if I'm not wrong, 2008, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, when was invited by Vice Chancellor of Delhi University, 2008, to give a public talk. At the end of the talk, during the question and answer session, there was one young girl who stood up and asked a question to His Holiness. The question asked was, what is the purpose of life? And His Holiness, without second thought, says that we live on hope. How many of us we live on hope? Every morning you get up, the world today, the day is going to be a little brighter. I hope that today is going to be a very beautiful day, or a good day for me. We live on hope. Number one. Then His Holiness said, we hope for happiness. We don't hope for tension. So His Holiness made two statements. We live in hope, and we hope for happiness. Therefore, the genuine happiness is the meaning of life. This is what His Holiness says. Okay. Now, this statement which His Holiness made, genuine happiness, seeking a genuine happiness, that's the purpose of life. This, we can break this into two parts. Say, one, we don't want suffering. We don't want fear. We don't want fear. Okay, how many agree with me? Raise hands. We don't want fear. Very good. We don't want fear. And even if you become fearless, no fear, doesn't mean that you are absolutely happy. Let me give an example. Say, the Albert Einstein. Do you think that he will have a fear to give a lecture on physics? Do you think that Albert Einstein will have a fear in giving a lecture on physics? No, because he's expert. He thinks that this is my area. In physics, nobody can compete with me. This is his confidence. So there's no fear, but he may feel so bored, may not be happy to give a lecture. You agree? Berg, you agree? So he may not be too happy. So one day, okay, you have to listen to this story also. Okay, that once Albert Einstein was invited to give a talk on physics. And he was so bored to give the same lecture every day, because he's so famous that he has to give the lecture every day. So one day, his driver always, because the driver is always with him, his driver heard his lecture all the time. So Einstein said, now you know what I'm talking, so today you give the lecture. And the driver, he stood up and gave the lecture. And people thought that he was Einstein. And then after the talk, there was question and answers. And question and answer, people are very extremely bright physicists. One asked a very, very complicated question. And the driver had no answer, because he only knows what answer Einstein usually talks. So he said that your question is too simple. I don't want to give the answer. I will ask my driver to come up. He called Einstein, right? I'll ask my driver to come up and give the lecture, and give the answer to your question. Your question is too simple. And Einstein came and gave the answer. You're getting it? Okay, so what I'm saying, this is like a joke, but the message behind this is that Einstein may not have fear to give a lecture in physics, but he may not be too happy also. So fearlessness is one thing. Number two is the happiness, number two. You're getting it? Fearlessness and maximum happiness. What Kabirji said this morning, maximum happiness. So we are all seeking the fearlessness, number one. Number two, maximum happiness. Okay, let's not forget this. Meanwhile, you don't have to just say, Kabirji said this morning, now I'm reiterating this, I'm just reparaphrasing. what Kabirji said. But say, just make these notes. These were very helpful. And at the moment, you may not agree. Don't follow blindly. What I said, what Kabirji said, you don't have to follow blindly. Just make this note and don't accept it. Don't reject it. Don't accept it. Don't reject it. Just make it. Keep a note there. Later on, so maybe after 1 year, 2 years, when you go back to flip through your the pages of what you did and the 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and so forth, this is what is say seeking fearlessness and infinite happiness. This is what we are all seeking. This is the purpose of our life. Oh, this is what I wrote. You're getting it, and you think more about it. It may make sense to you at that point. Then you will see that I'm so happy that now I found the purpose of life. Otherwise, many people, they go through deep depression and sadness. They have wealth, everything, but they're so unhappy. I know many people, extremely good families, from high level in the society. They, the societal, the hierarchy was very high level. Their families, good families, but extremely unhappy. So much conflicts happening inside. Very sad. So therefore, the thing is that this is what, okay, if this is what I achieve, then that makes sense. And all these great teachers, for example, like say the Buddha Shakyamuni, then the Lord Mahavir, and before that Ram, and then after Jesus Christ, Prophet Muhammad, Baha'u'llah, Zoroaster, and so all these great teachers, they came to to help the people to remove the say, unnecessary pains. Is what for these great teachers came. All these teachers came for that purpose. So with this in mind, let's not forget it. Say, okay, now today what I learned is that what the Kabirji said this morning, and what I'm paraphrasing today now is that the purpose of my life is to remove my fears. In other words, to seek fearlessness and to maximize my happiness. Fearlessness and infinite happiness. So these are the two things that I should be seeking. That's the purpose of life. Now, all what we are reading now today, all what we are studying over the next 5 days, this is these are the means. These are the means for us to attain these two goals. What are the two goals? Hey, Sirim Pamela, what are two goals? Fearlessness and infinite happiness. Hey, then unless. What are two goals? Fearlessness and infinite happiness. Very good. Here, Anilas. Fearlessness, infinite happiness. Very good. Thank you. Okay, so these are the two goals. Good. Now let us read the following verses. And some of the lines can be very technical. Some of the lines, a single line can be very technical, and I'll be say depending on the availability of time, I will surely try to explain these words also, which are otherwise little technical. Okay. Namo Lokesh Varaya. You see that all phenomena neither come nor go. This first line. You see that all phenomena neither come nor go. This is technical, not difficult. It's technical. I'm going to explain this very quickly. Explain this here. How many of you have dreamt in your life? How many of you had dream in your life? Meaning that you slept, you fall asleep, and then you had dreams. Raise your hands. How many had dreams in life? How many never had dreams in life? Never had any dreams? Never had any dreams? Everybody, we all had dreams, right? We all had dreams. Okay, just imagine that. Let me give you 3 scenarios, and you choose one of them. Only one possibility. One, that let's say that we are here together. Then the Ajatenjala, the Ajatashdumala, right? Tenjula, Tashidumala also. Tashlamo. Okay. So the Ajitinjula and Chala Losala and Sangela, they're going to host a party for us. In dream, not real. In the dream. Imagine that you're falling asleep, and in dream, Ajitinjala is hosting a party for all of us. Happy? Not happy? Hey, the nuns, happy? Happy? Good, good, good. Okay, party for us. A purely vegetarian party, not non-veg. You're getting it? Vegetarian party. Okay. Then so we are in the middle of enjoying the party. If this dream is not the real dream. The second moment, while enjoying the party, and suddenly there's a cloudburst. No, in the Tawang cloudburst, no cases, no cloudburst cases. The Cholagandela, no cloudburst. Okay, okay. So let's say earthquake. Suddenly there's an earthquake. Suddenly there's magnitude 9.6 earthquake. Okay, now no chance, right? Earthquake, the second moment. And then they say the earth cracks and you get into it and you other they say, I'm dead. Number two. Then number three, your mom wakes you up. Hey, get up, get up, get up, get up. You're happy, not happy? When your mother wakes you up from the earthquake. You're happy, not happy? Earthquake was a dream. Party picnic was a dream. And mother wakes you up. Happy, not happy? Very happy. Okay. Of the three choices, just tell me, which do you want? The first one, second one, third one? Hey, this is Nubala. Okay, anyone else? Huh? Number one. Number one. Hey, Anila here. What do you want? 1, 2, 3. This is very important concept. Anyone? Hey, 1, 2, 3. What do you prefer? Don't feel shy. 1, 3. Hey.
Third one, Gisela. Third one.
Third one. Oh, this particular looks very mature, more mature than the many of us who are older. Age-wise, we are older, but this girl is saying third one. Okay, how many you go for third one? Raise hands. Okay, how many will go for the first one? Raise hands. First one, first one, first one. No, I know nobody will go for the second one. Okay, the Dorji, first, second, first or the third? Third one. Okay, so many of you want that. Okay, Dorji, what's the problem with the first one? Tell me. What is the problem with the first one? Why not the first one? Why?
Third one, because we are suffering, so we are coming out of that suffering because mother.
But the
has
first
taken
one,
up
no
that.
suffering. First one is picnicking. What's the problem with the first one?
No, but we have not faced that difficult situation where we
Yes,
are
yes.
going into
Yes. So I said, of the three choices, which would you go?
third one.
Third one, not the first one.
No.
Okay. Anyone else? Why not the first one? Anyone? Why not the first one? Anyone? Over here, over the lead over there, lead over there, over there, lead over there. Anu, Manu,
Minu.
Minu.
Somewhere in the dream, maybe I know that it is going to end, party is going to end in the dream
Okay.
as well.
Okay. Even waking up will also end one day. Waking up is also a problem. No? Okay, good. And the first one will come to an end. And the gentleman here. Okay, that's interesting. Say it again. So that Mike.
I'm not in control in the first scenario.
But it's a very pleasant dream.
Yes, it is.
So why not the first one?
Because it can go in any direction, like it probably did.
Okay.
So it's not
Okay.
under my control.
Your name?
Tushar.
Okay. Tushar, what are you doing? What's your profession? You don't want to share? You don't want to share?
Professionally.
Uh,
Professionally, I'm a screenwriter. I'm into filmmaking, cinema. I'm in
ah,
cinema.
okay. Okay. What he said is very profound. Very good. Okay. So now, what Tushar said and what the Minu said, they all make sense. And what the doctor said, okay, let me give you, see if my further, the explanations will clarify things. Now let me give you, so these two dreams, the first dream where you are picnicking, second dream, earthquake. The two dreams, there are many things in common between these two dreams. There are many things common. There are many things which are the divergent, which are totally different, but there are similarities also. What are some of the similarities between these two dreams? The first dream and the second dream. First dream where you're picnicking, and second dream where the you are facing the 9.6 earthquake. These two dreams. Okay, what are the similarities? Anyone? There are many similarities. Don't feel shy. Anyone? Okay, David.
They are both illusions, Geshe.
They're both illusions. And the Sharmilaji? They both will end. And the Venerable, you raise hand? No. Okay, here. Manjiriji. Okay, let us all listen. Because all these answers are correct, you will get a broader picture. Yes.
As Tushar said, one has no control over either of them.
The two dreams have no control.
One has no control over.
One hasn't control over the other. What do you mean by that?
As illusions, we don't have any control over.
We don't have the
outcomes of
control over both the dreams. Both the dreams are similar in ways that we don't have the control the dreams. Anyone else? There are many similarities. Anyone else? The Yomale? There are many over there. The Yomale. There are many similarities.
I feel these are the two extremes.
Sorry?
Two extremes.
Oh, they're both extremes. One is extreme good, one is extreme bad. Very good. Anything else?
attachment and aversion. Attachment to pleasure and aversion to suffering.
So there's involuntariness there.
And push.
Involuntary pull and push is involved there. Oh, very good. Okay, so many good thoughts come into being. Minu?
Same, both are emotions.
Both
Similar.
are similar in being emotions. Very good. Okay. Sharmilaji? And they're both coming purely out of mind. They're not real. Okay. So, how many of you understood what all these the people shared with us? Resents? How many agree with this? With these? Yes, these are very important. Okay. From this, let me conclude by sharing with you this. Number one, that how many of you like to have the dream of having audience with His Holiness the Dalai Lama? Presents? How many of you like to have the dream of having audience with His Holiness the Dalai Lama? Presents? Yes, of course. Okay. How many of you will have the dream tonight? How many of you will have this dream, having audience with His Holiness the Dalai Lama tonight? Okay. Somebody, again, what's your name? Sirwantula. Sirwantula will have this dream tonight, right? Okay. Okay, others. Why you are not going to have this dream tonight? Why not? This dream is so nice. Hey, Sirimpema, why not? Huh? No, it's very simple. Why are you not going to have this dream tonight?
I don't know, sir. Actually, I want to have this dream, but I don't know. I don't have any answer for this.
I have no answer, meaning that I don't have the I don't have the freedom to choose this dream.
Because it's not in my control. It's
Exactly. Okay. So what Siring Pema is saying is that the dream is not in my control. You're getting it? So, okay, no control. The dream, we don't have the control. What dream to have? Resents. Yes, we don't have the control. Okay. Now, imagine that you're watching a television with your little brother. Imagine that you're watching television with your little brother, and little brother wants to always watch cartoon, and the remote control is in his hand. You want to give the remote control in your brother's hand, or you want to keep the remote control to yourself? Hey, Anilas, remote control, you want to give it to your brother, or you want to keep it yourself? Huh? Yourself? Keep it yourself. Why? Because if the remote controls, hey, why do you want to give the the remote control to your, not to your brother? Why not? Okay. Let us begin. Yeah.
Because if I give the remote to my younger brother, then he always used to show the cartoons there, which I don't like.
So, how many agree with Anitis Begila? If the remote is given to the boy, the young boy, my brother, he will continue to watch the cartoon, and which I don't like. Raise hands. That's true. So, in other words, what she's saying is that I don't have the freedom to choose which channel to watch. You're getting it? Lack of freedom is misery. Right? I don't want to suffer there sitting, watching what I don't want to watch. Raise hands. Lack of freedom is misery. Raise hands. Very good. So, from this, what we learn is that however pleasant the dream is, the problem is that we don't have the freedom to choose the dream. Lack of freedom. Lack of freedom is misery. Misery is samsara. Let me say this once more. Lack of freedom is misery, and misery is samsara. Write it down. That would be very helpful. Okay. So with this, now, because of this, first dream, although it's so pleasant dream, but it has one problem. What is that problem? Hey, the first dream, picnicking, very pleasant dream, but it has one problem. What is that problem? Lack of freedom. You don't have the freedom to choose the dream. You're getting it? That is the lack of freedom. However pleasant the dream is, the problem is that it has element of lack of freedom. Lack of freedom is suffering. Suffering is samsara. You're getting it? Okay. So from this, now going back to this, of the 3 episodes, first one, very pleasant dream. Second one, very scary dream, earthquake. Third one, mother waking you up. Of the 3, now as Dr. La and Pegila and many of you said, you want the third one because with the third, you are freed from the dream. You wake up, you're freed from the dream. You're getting it? So therefore, waking up, the third one is the best option. Third one is waking up. Waking up so that you'll be freed from the loss of freedom of the dream. You'll be liberated from the loss of freedom of the dream. It's for this reason that the Buddha is revered as the fully awakened one. You're getting it? The Buddha is revered, respected as the fully awakened one. Which means, so the Buddha teaches us how to wake us up from the sleep of ignorance. We need to wake up from the sleep of ignorance. This is what we have to do. Okay, so now let's say that here, but the author the most venerable Geshe Thomas said, you see that all phenomena neither come nor go. Okay. In the dream, when a tiger comes to chase you, what do? In the dream? Huh? You run. And when you wake up, you continue to run? You don't run. Why don't you run? Huh? Why in the dream, why do you run? Huh? Why do you run in the dream? Srinbema? Oh, because the tiger, there's no tiger, it's your dream. Why are you running? There's no real tiger.
But it's in dream, tiger is behind me, so that's why I'm.
No, there's no tiger in the dream also. There's a dream tiger. Dream tiger is not a real tiger. Why you are running?
After waking up, it's a dream.
Okay, what she's saying is that, how many agree with what she's saying, that in the dream, I see the dream tiger as a real tiger chasing me. You getting it? Okay, dream tiger seen as a real tiger chasing you, then you run. Okay, seeing the dream tiger as a real tiger, is this wisdom? Is this wisdom or ignorance? Seeing the dream tiger as real tiger, is it wisdom or ignorance? Anyone? Anyone? No one. Yes, Sneha. Okay, Sneha is saying ignorance. How many agree with the Sneha? So, look, the philosophy the Buddha taught is not difficult. Only thing is that you don't take it for granted. What is important is just think. If you don't agree, say, I don't agree. If you agree, agree. You're getting it? So you should be involved. Then you see that it's extremely meaningful and purposeful. Seeing the dream tiger as real is it ignorance or wisdom? Hey. Sinvema. Ignorance. Raise hands. Seeing the dream tiger is real is ignorance. Good. And what is the outcome of this ignorance? The fear in the dream. You're getting it? Fear in the dream. So the Buddha taught, all our fears are because of the ignorance. The Buddha taught, all our fears are because of the ignorance. All fears are because of ignorance. And ignorance, there are so many layers. Okay. The next, then when you wake up, you continue to run. You don't stop running. Why not? You know that the dream tiger is not a real tiger. Okay, now look, seeing the dream tiger as not real tiger. Seeing the dream tiger is not real tiger, is it ignorance or wisdom? Is wisdom. Raise hands. Is wisdom. And what's the outcome? Your fear, the dream fear dissolves. Okay, so with the wisdom, your fear dissolves. You become fearless. You attain fearlessness. With the wisdom, your fears dissolve. With the ignorance, your fear rises. Okay, so with this in mind, finally the Buddha taught that everything is like dream. Even what is happening to this flower, the table, your own book, this beautiful hall, everything is like dream. If you know that everything is like dream, when do you know that dream as dream? In the dream or outside dream? Okay, Dr. Lay. When do you see the dream as dream? Inside the dream or outside dream? When do you realize the dream as dream? Inside dream or outside dream?
Inside.
Okay. Okay, how many of you don't agree with Dr. Lay's sense? Okay. Okay, Makaran, you don't agree. Why not?
When we are out of the dream.
Okay, Makaran saying that in the dream, you see the dream as real. You don't see the dream as dream. You see dream as real. When do you see the dream as dream? When you wake up. You're getting it? So therefore, When you wake up, you see the all what are you doing in the dream? Running here, coming, going, they're all just dream, right? So therefore, the Buddha taught that everything is like dream. Even the fear is also because of the dream. So if you know that everything is the dream, your fear dissolves. So now looking at the text. Look at the text, the first page. Namo Lokeshwaraya, you see that all phenomena neither come nor go. Meaning that the Avalokiteshvara sees everything like a dream. If everything is like a dream, coming, going, this is a dream, this is just, they say, okay, one thing which is very important, a point that came to, okay, what is the difference between this? What is this? Wow. Okay, what is it? Don't say artificial thermos. Okay, what is this? This thermos. What is in my right hand? Huh? What is in my right hand?
Nothing.
What is in my left hand? Thermos. What is in my right hand? Nothing. Imagine a golden thermos. Okay, now tell me, what is in my left hand? Still thermos. What is in my right hand?
Golden.
Okay, I will ask Tinsbiki. What is in my right hand? Wow, look. Tinsbiki is saying that I have a golden thermos in my right hand. Is it golden thermos? Outside is making that he's a magician. Right? Okay, there's no golden thermos, there's an imaginary golden thermos. You're getting it? Okay, I asked you to imagine. So therefore it is imaginary golden thermos. This is not a golden thermos, right? Don't say that Geshe has golden thermos, right? Okay, so look, now my question to you, this is a very important question. In a way, this is amazing. Day one, we are getting introduced to emptiness. Amazing. Okay, what is the difference between the still thermos and the imaginary golden thermos? What is the difference between the two? Okay, yes, this is Biggie. What's the difference? This is Biggie there, and this is Biggie.
The difference between two thermos is one is made of gold and other is made of steel, but both of them are thermos.
One is made of steel, and one is
Made of gold.
it's made of gold.
Imaginary gold.
Okay, imagine one is made of imaginary gold, right?
Both of these are thermos and
Both of these are.
thermos.
Oh, both of they share the quality of being thermos. Okay, very good, very good. Thank you. Anyone else? What is the difference between these two things? The real thermos and the imaginary thermos. Anyone? Anyone? Raise hands. Anyone? Okay, Peter is expert. Makrant. Makrant and then Minu. Yes, Minu. Minu. Tell me.
The imaginary thermos cannot fulfill the thirst, whereas the thermos can fulfill the thirst.
Okay, Minuji is very practical. She says that the imaginary thermos cannot fulfill a purpose, whereas the steel thermos in my left hand fulfills the purpose of a thermos. How many agree? Yes, it's very, very good answer. Makrant. Okay, good. Anyone else? Anyone else? Who likes to give me? Anyone else? Okay, yes, or the Hansla.
The mug in your left hand, Geshe-la. I can see it with my eyes.
One is in my left hand and one is in my right hand.
Yes.
Okay, this is different.
The mug the imaginary mug in your right hand, I cannot see it with my eyes.
Okay, so imagine one is in my right hand is not what the Hansla can see, and the other one is in my Right. Anyone else? There are many, many differences. Okay, okay here the Tushar. Mike.
Thermos in your left hand, Geshe-la, is made of some substance, and the one in your right hand is
Imaginary.
imaginary.
Okay, how many agree with Tushar? Tushar said that the girl over there. You want to give the answer? Okay, what's your name? Jambal. Oh, Jambal agrees with Tushar. Okay, how many agree with Tushar? Raise hands. Tushar said that this thermos, that the steel thermos has a substance there. And the imaginary golden thermos is just imaginary. It doesn't have substance. How many agree with Tushar? Raise hands. Very good. Okay. So in a way, let me ask this question. If you think that this is a different way of is another way of the paraphrasing what Tushar said. This steel thermos is objectively real. From the object, the substance there, object real, and the imaginary thermos is subjectively real. Subjective meaning you're thinking. It's just what your mind thinks, and object there's nothing there from the object. Okay, so on this thermos is substantially real. There's substance there, and the other one's just imagination. It's purely subjective. It doesn't have objective reality. How many of you would say that these two are same way of presenting it? Good. Okay, now let me say dream is subjective or objective? Dream, subjective, objective? Subjective. Dream, there's no substance there. Okay. Mirage. Mirage is the objective, subjective. Mirage is. Okay, chalo kandela. What is mirage in Migjay?
Same word used in most
Migyu,
parts.
okay.
Migyu.
Okay. Kinopsan sinla? Migyu, mirage. Yes. Sir, your name? No. With the red shirt, yes. Sirondula. Sirondula, what is mirage in Migjay?
The same in the
Okay.
text.
Then let's say the Jigment Chundrule. What's the mirage in Migjay?
I don't know. No idea, Kishla.
Okay, so you have never seen mirage in
Mirage.
Tawang. Okay. Okay, how many the Anilas, how many you know mirage? Mikyu. Okay. Now, let me explain what mirage is. Mirage, let's say that in desert area where it's extremely hot, from distance, you actually is the hot waves. Hot waves, because of the heat, the heat wave is moving. And from distance you see is water. And if you travel on hot sun, under the hot sun, on the road you will see water there. Actually there's no water. Total, what do you call mirage in Migjay?
No.
Okay. So that you see water. Actually, there's no water there. And you think that there's real water. And it is said that in the desert area, some wild animals, they're so thirsty, and from distance they see the mirage. Actually, there's no water there. It's just the heat wave of the sand coming on the surface, and which is from distance seen as water. So these wild animals, they think that there's water there, they run towards it, they never get the water because there's no water there. It's a mirage, this is illusion. Okay, so mirage, is it subjective or objective? Subjective, very good. Okay, Anilas, they're getting it properly. Thank you. Magical illusion, subjective, objective. Magical illusion, subjective, objective. Subjective, very good. Okay, now let's say this is very important thing. So because that the finally to stop all the tears of our life, to stop the tears, to stop all our the say what sadness and agitation, frustration, to stop all these things, we have to see everything like a dream. If you don't see them, everything like a mirage, everything like a dream. If you don't see this, then we have to continue to shed tears. There's no solution. Okay. How to spell mirage? M-I. Hey, the louder. M-I again, nuns. You write Anila. Louder. Okay, be a good teacher. To be a good teacher, how should you say this? You say it in such a way that they're able to write it effectively. M-I-R-A-G-E. M-I-R-A-G-E. Right? Then okay. M-I-R-A-G. Very good. Good. Okay, good. Mirage. In the, I don't know, in Tibetan is Migjay. Migjay. Samada Mika Mig, Ragada Gadi Japju, Migjay. Okay, Tendala. You found it? Menge. Ah.
Geshe 빠져 맹게 기 빠져 취직 빠져 표박까지다 맹게 이 찍바르스부터 취직.
I chibodo injiro.
취직 찍바르스부터 빠져.
Last. Oh yeah. That is Migjay. Okay. Now, what is so important is that we're talking about the emptiness. Emptiness. This is extremely important. And just imagine. So today what we've learned is subjective and objective. Okay. In a loose sense, this still thermos in my left hand, and the imaginary golden thermos in my right hand. Which of the two is objective? Still thermos is objective, and the imaginary golden thermos is subjective. Very good. Okay, now Anilas, they are very young still, they understand fully. I'm impressed. Thank you. Okay, now let me say this is very important. So the Buddha taught everything is subjective. Everything is subjective. So we think that this thermos is subjective, this illusion. We are deceived. Okay, everything is subjective. Now we have to learn how everything is subjective. We need to learn how to ask the correct question. Okay, what question would you ask me if I say that everything is subjective? What question would you ask me? How what? How everything is? Very good. What's your name, Anla? Huh? Tizyangala. Tizyangala said the next question would be, how is it that everything is subjective? Very good, thank you. Okay, the next is, now imagine that, do you agree with me that if this flower is lying close to you, then I rush and say that this flower is mine. If I say this is mine, what does it mean what does it mean? It means it's not yours. You agree? When I say this is mine, it means it is not yours. If I say that, oh, this is not yours, you may feel it very offensive. Whereas if I say this is mine, it's another way of saying it is not yours. Not yours. Not means empty. You're getting it? So when I say this flower is subjective, you say dream is subjective, which means it is not objective. You're getting it? Not is empty. Not and empty, these two mean same. So let's say there's no tea in this glass. No tea means empty of tea. Empty and not, they mean the same. Now let's say, if I say that this flower is subjective, which means it is not objective. Not objective means empty of objectivity. Okay, when I say the flower is subjective, it means it is not objective and it's empty of, okay, not objective means empty of objectivity. Okay, write it down. Flower being subjective equals to not objective equals to, wait, let me say this once more. Flower being subjective equals to not objective equals to empty of objectivity of the flower. Empty of objectivity of the flower. Okay, now can somebody say this? Flower being subjective equals to not objective equals to empty of objectivity of the flower. Very good. Okay, wow. Day one, you got emptiness. Okay, so when the Buddha said that everything is subjective means everything is empty of objectivity. You're getting it? If somebody asks you, what is the emptiness of flower? You say, flower being empty of, what is that? Empty of objectivity of a flower is the emptiness of the flower. Let me say this once more. Say, what's the emptiness of flower? Flower being empty of, okay, you can say like this. What do you write? The flower being subjective equals to not objective equals to empty of objectivity of the flower, and equals to empty of objective reality, equals to empty of objective reality. Okay, now if somebody asks you, what is the emptiness of the flower? You can say that the flower being empty of objective reality is the meaning of emptiness of flower. Okay, I ask you, what is the emptiness, what is the meaning emptiness of flower? Flower being empty of objective reality is the emptiness of the flower. Okay, let's say this once more. What's the emptiness of the flower? Flower being empty of objective reality is the emptiness of the flower. Very good. Okay, so now how many of you understood emptiness? Now, when you understand emptiness, the Buddha taught that you have a tinge of fear comes to you, and sometimes goosebumps will come on you. How many of you got the goosebumps now? Okay, no, don't worry. So, what is the difference between, okay, if I tell you how many like cheesecake, raise hands. How many like cheesecake? Okay, not cheesecake. Okay, say how many like cakes? Unless, like, okay, yes. Okay, what cake? Chocolate cake. Chocolate cake. Okay, let's say I'll give you chocolate cake. I'll give you chocolate. You're very happy. Then on a piece of paper, I write chocolate cake. I give that to you. You happy? Not happy? Not happy. It's chocolate. I read it. Okay, this is just a chocolate cake written. It's not real chocolate cake. What you have learned thus far about emptiness is not the real emptiness. It's just like the letter chocolate cake, right? Emptiness, the real concept is not explained, is not yet to explain. You're getting it? So therefore, the goosebumps will not come now, right now. Okay, but it's very precious, very precious. Okay, so with this, now let us turn to the text. Okay, don't forget this. Yes, tomorrow we'll review this once more, and if possible during the group discussion. Group discussion. Okay, after this, then we'll split the group into 4 groups. 4 groups, each will have about like 10 people, and then those who came from the early retreats, they appoint them as the group discussion, the moderators, group discussion moderators, and they will help. And you can just throw any question, whatever comes to you, not clear, things you will learn, but what is not too clear, I did not get this clear, you bring this up, and there are seniors who will help you. Okay, good. You see that all phenomena neither come nor go, meaning that our Aravulukteshvar, because that this author, Geshe, he's particularly with the meditation on compassion. And compassion is related to Arya Avalokiteshvara, Buddha of compassion. And so it says that Avalokiteshvara, you see that, you meaning Avalokiteshvara, Jenresi, you see that all phenomena neither come nor go. You see everything like a dream. So therefore you are freed from fears of life. Still you strive solely for the benefit of beings. But you don't just remain still, like inert. Okay, for me there's no problem, I have no fear. But seeing that other beings, they're still in the sleep of ignorance. They're still not woken up yet. So therefore you are working so hard to help other beings to wake up from the sleep of ignorance. Still you strive meaning put effort solely for the benefit of beings. Supreme Guru and Protector Avalokiteshvara, Supreme Guru and Protector Avalokiteshvara, to you I continually bow with body, speech and mind. I continually respect. Bow meaning respect with body, speech and mind. The next, the perfect Buddhas, the sources of benefit and happiness, arise. Perfect Buddhas meaning somebody who has attained these 2 goals. What are 2 goals? You remember? Fearlessness and infinite happiness. Fearlessness and infinite happiness. Oh, these young nuns are very good. I'm so glad. Okay, the fearlessness and infinite happiness. These are 2 goals. Anybody who attains these 2 goals, you are known as Buddhas. So it says, the perfect Buddhas, the sources of benefit and happiness, that you give the maximum benefit to other beings, you give the maximum happiness to other beings. These Buddhas, they arise. Arise meaning they attain this state from practicing the genuine dharma. What is genuine dharma? Twofold. Okay. Say our miseries arise from external factors and internal factors. So, see, dharma is, if somebody were to ask you, what is dharma? What is chö? There are so many meanings. And they'll all boil down to the same point. One is dharma or chö means, say, dharma of realization and dharma of cessation. Dharma of realization, tokpa. Ratatatan tokaso tokpa. Dharma realization and dharma of cessation. This is the technical meaning of dharma. Pangtok. Pangtok. Pasapata pangasapang. Ratatatan tokaso tok. Pangtok gichu. Is the dharma of cessation and dharma of realization. Okay. So why these 2 are known as dharma? Dharma doesn't mean that dharma, we have our very ordinary, the very naive understanding of dharma. We get the feeling that dharma means something, okay, something outside to do. No. Any system, a system which will take you from the state of suffering to the happiness. That is dharma. A system which will help us to take you from the state of suffering to the happiness, to fearlessness and infinite happiness. Now the fearlessness, technically it is known as nirvana. Technically, fearlessness means nirvana. We hear about nirvana and Buddhahood. Nirvana means fearlessness, no fear. The Buddhahood means infinite happiness. Infinite happiness. Okay, is there anybody who likes to tell us what are those people known as who attain nirvana? What are those people known as? Those who attain nirvana. What do you call these people? The Anila Sunda. Anila. Anila Khasire. The Parvatobe Kansa Khasire. No. Khasire? Oh, yeah. Okay, anyone else? What are those beings known as who attain nirvana? Okay, NMC1 and 2. Okay, let's say the Kabirji. Okay, let's all listen to Kabirji.
Geshe-la, Arhats.
Arhats or Aryas? Not Aryas. Okay, Kabirji, why not Aryas? What is Arya? Arya, what's the difference? Arya and Arhats. Kabirji said Arhat, and Ajatamdina said Aryas. Huh? Okay, what Kabirji said is correct. It is Arhat. In Tibetan, it is known as Dachumpa. Dachumpa, Arhat. Okay, Arhat. And the Arya is the Pakpa. Pakpa means the beings who realize emptiness directly. Aryas may not be Arhats. All Arhats should be Aryas. Yes. Aryas are Pakpa. Pakpe Kansa. How Pakasa Pakpa. Aryas. Okay. So, those who attain nirvana are known as Arhats, or in English is translated as four destroyers. Four meaning enemies. What enemy? Enemy of your emotions, destructive emotions, destroying your destructive emotions. This is known as the Arhats. Isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Then the Arhats, then Aryas. Arya is Pape Kansa, those who see emptiness directly. This is known as Aryas. Okay, now let us continue reading from the text. The perfect Buddhas, the source of benefit in beings, the happiness, arise from practicing genuine dharma. So what is dharma? Dharma is the real dharma is the dharma of realization and dharma of the cessation. You're getting it? So why we call these two as dharmas is because finally why do we practice dharma? Why do we practice dharma, anyone? For what? Why do we have to practice dharma? Yes, this is Nubala.
To achieve perfect Buddhahood.
To achieve?
Perfect Buddhahood.
Perfect Buddhahood. To achieve perfect Buddhahood. Okay, is there anybody who can share this in a simple terms? Why do we practice dharma? Right? Why do we practice dharma? In simple terms, anyone? Yes. To overcome suffering. Simple. Yes. To overcome suffering. We don't want suffering. To overcome suffering and to maximize our happiness. To overcome the suffering, to maximize my happiness. To overcome the suffering, then you go a little more technically. To overcome suffering, this is known as fearlessness. To create fearlessness, that is nirvana. And to maximize your happiness, maximum happiness is the Buddhahood. Buddha doesn't mean Buddhism. It simply means where your potential is manifested in the full form. That is known as Buddhahood. So what Tenzin the Nubala said is correct in a technical sense. In simple sense, the dharma, we practice dharma to remove our suffering and to increase our happiness. This is the purpose. So having said this, as to how to remove the suffering. How to remove the suffering. How to remove suffering. Okay, so these are very simple things. At the same time, they say these will help us to make things very clear. How to remove the sufferings? Anyone? To remove the sufferings, we have to remove the causes of the suffering. To remove suffering, we have to remove the cause of suffering. And the cause of the suffering in simple terms. In simple terms, the Buddha taught the cause of suffering is ignorance. Ignorance is the root of the problems. And also the Buddha taught cause of suffering is harming others. Harming others. And technically speaking, ignorance is the root of suffering. Okay, so this is one thing. And how to maximize our happiness. Again, look at the cause. Maximize the cause of the happiness. You're getting it? What is the cause of happiness? Wisdom and universal compassion. Wisdom and universal compassion. When you have these two things, then your happiness expands. Okay. To have to remove your suffering, what should you do? To remove your ignorance. To remove harming others. To remove harmful actions. To maximize your happiness, what should you do? You should maximize your wisdom and universal compassion. Very good. Okay. So with this, now the Buddha taught one verse. If somebody were to ask you, what is the Buddha Dharma in simple terms? What is the teachings of Buddha in simple terms? In Tibetan, Buddha taught, Dikpa Chia Mishashing. Hey, unless do you have to this verse? Dikpa Chia Mishashing. Kewa Pusun Sobarche. Rangi Semni Yonsu Dil. Very good. Wow. All the young girls, the young nuns, they always have this. So in English, commit no evils. Dikpa Mishashing. Gyo Pusum Sobarche. Accumulate as great wealth of virtues as possible. Let me repeat it. Accumulate as great wealth of virtues as possible. Then tame your mind. Rangisem Yonsutul. Tame your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. Okay. Let me say this once more. The first line is, commit no evils. Commit no evils. You don't want suffering? Stop evil actions. Stop harming others. Commit no evils. What is the second line? Accumulate as great wealth of virtues as possible. Why? You want happiness? Happiness comes from virtues. Expand your virtues. Then, how to do that? Yes, I want to stop evil actions. I want to expand virtues. What should I do? Tame your mind. Tame your mind thoroughly. How to tame the mind thoroughly? See everything like a dream. Tame your mind to see everything like a dream. So, when you are in the dream, how many you in the dream you have fought with somebody? You have fought with somebody in your dream, raise hands. At least you dreamt once, raise hands. Are you people feeling shy? People feel shy? Sharmilaji, you fought in dream? No, never. Yes. Okay. Parag? Yes. Happy, not happy? Not happy. Okay. So in the dream, we fought. The moment you wake up, you fought or you stop fighting? Stop fighting. Okay. So evil actions are because we fail to see them as like dream. When you see them as dream, all our evil actions will stop. Your virtues will grow. You're getting it? This is so precious, so precious. So therefore, how to do that is by seeing tame your mind, by taming your mind. How to tame the mind? Tame the mind by seeing everything like a dream. You got it? Good. Okay. Now let's read this further. The perfect Buddhas, the source, second verse, the perfect Buddhas, the sources of benefit and happiness, arise from practicing the genuine Dharma. Practice the genuine Dharma of wisdom and universal compassion, and then you will have the maximum happiness and your fears will dissolve. But to do the Dharma, which in turn depends on knowing how to practice, to do the Dharma, we have to know how to practice, how to do the Dharma. You have to know this. If you don't know, for example, how many like to have, how many like to enjoy good food? All of us, right? And then when you are at home by yourself, oh, I want to enjoy good food. So you have to learn how to cook good food. So I have to cook good food. But if you don't know how to cook good food, then you cannot enjoy good food. So therefore, the thing is likewise, if you want to practice Dharma, you have to know how to practice the Dharma. So it says, which in turn depends on knowing how to practice. So I would explain the Bodhisattva practices. So what are the practices of the Bodhisattvas? The Bodhisattva, the Geshe Tome Sambo said, I would explain how to practice the Dharma. Okay, so the first, it says, now that you have obtained this precious human birth, the great boat so difficult to find, in order to free yourself and others from the ocean of samsara, listening, reflecting and meditating with diligence day and night is the practice of a bodhisattva. This is so important message. Okay, it is said that the Buddha at one point he took birth as there was many lifetimes ago. He took birth as let's say the horse, a very special horse, and there was one island which is frequented by the demons eating human beings, and they were about maybe like 500 of the merchants. Somehow they were trapped there, and they had the fear that any time these demons will come to eat them up. So what should they do? Then they prayed to the Buddha, and there's some other anecdotes say that it's Avalokiteshvara. They pray to Avalokiteshvara. It doesn't matter. So pray to Avalokiteshvara. Then the horse, which is actually the emanation of Avalokiteshvara or Buddha, then came flying, and then told these beings that you just hold me from anywhere. You hold me anywhere, the tail or whatever, just hold somewhere. And then he flew, and all those who were able to hold him, they were rescued. So, and this is where the precious human birth, the human birth that we have obtained, this is so precious that we have the capacity to learn the Dharma. And they say there are 8 billion human beings. 8 billion human beings today. And of these, how many people they come to know about Buddha's teachings? And how many people they come to know about bodhicitta? How many of them come to know about the dreamlike nature of all phenomena? It's so less in number, and we have the capacity. And for example, some people, they may not in a common state. Then even if you teach emptiness, the person will not understand anything. If somebody takes birth as a dog, cat, or insects like this, there's no way by which they can understand emptiness. Even if you talk about emptiness a lot, or bodhicitta a lot, they'll not understand anything. So whereas we have the capacity to understand these concepts. So this is known as, now that you have obtained this precious human birth, on the great boat, so difficult to find, boat to cross the ocean of samsara, where there's a whole, say the famine going in the particular place, island, and then you want to cross the water body, we need a boat. So that is human birth that we have obtained, which is so precious. And this, if you use it properly, if you use the precious human birth properly, then you can free ourselves, yourself, your parents, your children, and all of family members from the ocean of samsara. Because, for example, let's say that in fact, this is what happens. The parents, when they take interest in the dharma, then naturally the children, they also go into dharma. When the children takes interest in the dharma, then the parents, they also flow with the children to go to dharma. So this is so precious to help support each other. And in our life, we see that the parents love the children the most, and the children, they also love the parents a lot. So the best way, the best gift that we can do is, rather than giving crores and crores of rupees, the best thing is, if you can practice the Dharma well, and how to practice Dharma. It says, listening, reflecting, and meditating with diligence, with great effort, day and night, is the practice of a bodhisattva. So, not to waste time. For example, like what? Instagram, Facebook. But here, Instagram, Facebook doesn't really work. Huh? Work? How many you have Bhutanese card, SIM card? Hmm? How many you have Bhutanese SIM card? Shirokandela, you have Bhutanese SIM card? You don't have. Your SIM card works well? Huh? It works so well, effectively. What is that? Airtel. Okay. Okay. So so it's lucky that even the SIM card is not working too well effectively here. Right, so we have no time for Instagram, Facebook. Just to look at one photograph, it takes few minutes. It's lucky, very lucky. It's a big blessing in disguise. Otherwise, in the big cities, and the places where the connectivity is so good, there people spend 2, 3, 4 hours going through, just wasting the precious human birth, or wasting a life. This is big, big, big loss for us. Whereas, like this text, just read this text, one verse a day, contemplate meanings, listening, reflecting, and meditating with diligence. Day and night is the practice of bodhisattva. You're growing, your happiness keeps growing by just watching the Facebook, Instagram, and so forth, right? After 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, nothing will be left in your brain. What is left? Only the garbage is left. And people do what? Reels, right? One does it, and then everybody copies that. And then everybody has to watch it. If you don't watch it in 24 hours, it'll disappear. And if it disappears, it's a big whole world will collapse if I don't able to watch it within 24 hours. It's disappear. Oh, how unwise. So unwise. So therefore, the wise people will, instead of wasting the time, how do we know that? When we get, say, when we get older and older, right? And then you will miss the youth. You will miss the youth. That is where we have wasted our life. Whereas as you grow older and older and older, you feel happier. You have used your life very productively. This is a wise person. So, now let me give the distinction between listening, reflecting, meditating. I'll explain what these three things are, and then we'll stop here. Okay, listening, reflecting, meditating. Okay, the obvious question is, why do we have to listen to Dharma? Why do we have to reflect on Dharma? Why do we have to meditate on Dharma? Why? Why? Anyone? Why do we have to? It says, listening, reflecting, meditating with diligence day and night is the practice of bodhisattva. So, in a way, Geshe Thoma is encouraging us to listen to Dharma, contemplate on Dharma, and meditate on Dharma. Why? Why do you have to do that? Why? Oh, because my parents are doing this. Oh, because if I don't do that, then this is sin. No, there should be a reason. Why should we have to do that? Anyone? Why we have to study, reflect, and meditate on Dhamma? Yes.
Since we are following the religion of Buddhism.
Yes.
Since we follow Buddhism and we believe life after death, that's why we pray, I think so, basically.
Okay. So, what Sri is saying is that, number one, that we fear death, and there's also life after we believe in rebirth. So that if you practice Dharma, then your rebirth, you will have a better rebirth. So therefore your meaning will be, the purpose of life will be fulfilled. Very good. Okay, now for that matter, we need to distinguish between these three things. What are they? Listening, reflecting, and meditating. These three things. First, listening. Listening, you can also write learning or studying. Studying, learning, listening, they all mean the same. Okay, let us say that the first one, there are three kinds of wisdom. Wisdom derived through listening, wisdom derived through reflecting, wisdom derived through meditation. Listening, reflecting, meditating, you relate these three with the wisdom. Wisdom through learning or listening, wisdom through reflection or reflecting, and wisdom through meditation or meditating. Good. We need to know the distinction among these three. The first, wisdom derived through, what's the first one? Listening. Listening or learning is that today, if you ask me, what is the famous equation of Albert Einstein? Let me say this once more. What is the famous equation of Albert Einstein? I will say E equals mc square. And if you tell me, how do you know that? I say, I don't know. I just copied. So, wisdom derived through learning, the first one, wisdom derived through listening or learning is the borrowed knowledge. It's not your knowledge. It's a borrowed knowledge. You getting it? It's a borrowed knowledge. It's not your knowledge. You're just able to mimic somebody. You're just able to copy somebody. That's it. You don't know what's the meaning. You don't know that. That is known as the borrowed knowledge or wisdom derived through learning. Number one. Number two is wisdom derived through. Okay. So the first one, wisdom derived through listening. I'll give you a real concrete example. I was age, I think 5 or 6. I was age 5 or 6 when I was in school. And my teacher, so nowadays the parents, the teacher gives homework, and the parents will ask, what homework do you have? You have to finish homework. And when I was small, age 5, so who will check whether you have homework or not? My parents, my children, my teacher, my math teacher, she said that all the students, you have to memorize the multiplication table of 3. Multiplication table of 3. And we're just waiting. We are waiting for what? So teacher says, now we can go. So we can leave and then we can play, forget. Then next day, teacher said, okay, now I ask you to memorize the multiplication table of 3. Okay. Dorji, get up. Me. This young boy, age 6, gets up. He recite the multiplication table of 3. Nothing to recite because I didn't learn at all. So the teacher said, 3 ones are? That's easy. What is that? 3 ones are? 3. That's very easy. 3. Good. 3 twos are? No clue. So what he did, what this little boy did, 2 hands behind. 2 hands behind, and 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Good. 3 threes are? Again, no clue. 7, 8, 9. 9. Very good, sit down. You getting it? So, did I get the correct answer? I got the correct answers. But did I know how 3 into 3 multiplied 3 equals 9? Did this little boy know the reason? He doesn't know. He just copied. This is known as borrowed knowledge. It's not his knowledge. This is known as wisdom derived through listening. Wisdom derived through learning. It is not the wisdom derived through reflection and meditation. Okay. What is number 2? Wisdom derived through reflecting. Wisdom derived through reflection, or wisdom derived through reflecting, or wisdom derived through contemplation. Contemplation, same. Reflecting and contemplating, same. Wisdom derived through contemplating. So what is that? Wisdom, when you get the wisdom derived through contemplation, that is your knowledge. That is your knowledge. It's not a borrowed knowledge. That is your knowledge. This is so important. Wisdom derived through contemplation. For the first time, you come to know that, oh, 3 equals 3, 3 into 3 equals 9. You know the reason. Today, if you ask me, why 3 into 3 equals 9? Why? I'll explain so well. Say, I need to take I want to give chocolates to 3 people. Each one of them I like to give 3 chocolates. So how many chocolates should I take with me? 3 people into 3 chocolates is 9 chocolates. I have to take 9 chocolates. This is meaning of 3 into 3 equals 9. So now I know that. And one time, there was a little boy who happened to be smarter than me. I was invited to give a teaching in Guwahati, in Assam. And my host has a little boy. He was just 6 years old. When I was 6, I did not have this thing. His thing is way more superior. So this little boy, I gave him some almonds. And then he picked one almond and said that, Geshe, the color of this almond inside is white. 6 years old. And I was just checking, what is his knowledge? Is it the wisdom derived through learning? Wisdom derived through reflection? Or wisdom derived through meditation? I want to check. What is that? And I said that, no, it's brown. He said, outside is brown, inside is white. I said, how do you know that? Then he broke it, and showed, look, this is white inside. I said, wow, that's amazing. How did you know? You did not even look at it and you said it's white, and it's white. It's amazing. How do you know that? Who taught you that? He said, no, nobody taught me. I know this. Which means it's my knowledge. It's not a borrowed knowledge. You're getting it? This is known as the wisdom derived through reflecting, reflection, contemplation, contemplating. So, reflecting and contemplating, these two mean the same. Contemplating and reflecting, these two mean the same. Okay. Number 3, why do we have to cultivate these wisdoms? Why? Anyone? Why? These 3 wisdoms, why do we have to cultivate these wisdoms? Why? Okay, Tushar, why? Why do we cultivate these wisdoms? To counteract ignorance.
Yeah.
Okay. To counter ignorance. Why do we counter ignorance?
To get rid of suffering.
To get rid of suffering. Very good. So we have to know all these chains of reasons. You're getting it? We have to. Okay. Now on the okay, let's say what is to get rid of the suffering. And what causes the suffering? Afflictions causes the suffering. Anger, attachment, jealousy, and so forth, they cause the suffering. And ignorance causes suffering. Okay. Now, this anger and so forth, these cause us suffering. And anger and the afflictions. How do they arise? They arise slowly or they arise very quickly? Huh? Hey, Srinpema. Spontaneously, right? High quality. Anger, high quality. Right? So fast. Somebody says, Sirimpema, you stupid girl. And say, Manjariji, should I become angry? Right? He said, I'm stupid. Manjariji said, yeah, of course. You're not stupid. You're amazing. So, you have to become angry. And she meditates right, to become angry. Is this how she becomes angry? Or nobody has to teach her? Nobody has to teach her. This is how, look, 2 things. One is intensity of the anger and the spontaneity of the anger. 2. Negative emotions, they are so spontaneous and they're so intense. Okay. Now, the wisdom. Wisdom is to counteract the afflictions. Right? And the wisdom. How fast is wisdom? How fast is wisdom? Right? We have to first ring the bell. Hey, at 6 o'clock, come for the prayers. Right? And then at 9 o'clock, we have the class. Come. So the wisdom is still yet to come. You're getting it? Okay. So and then we have to write what is objective, subjective, still the wisdom has not come. Right? So for the wisdom, it takes a lot of time to come. But the opposite force is so effective, so intense, and two things. Look, there is wisdom, right? Wisdom is very slow. And what are the two things with the afflictions? Look, I'm asking, your wisdom to explain, and your wisdom is slow. You're getting it? Okay. So what are the two things for the afflictions? Spontaneity and intensity. You're getting it? So the wisdom is spontaneous, it's very slow. Intensity is so weak. You're getting it? This is wisdom. Now we have to make our wisdom very spontaneous and okay. Mathematical problem. Solving the mathematical problem. Why did you, why did you not give the correct answer to the second question? Because I said it fast. Your brain works slow. Your wisdom works slow. You're getting it? So we have to make our wisdom work fast. We have to make our wisdom work intensely. Intensity and spontaneity. This is what we have to do. How to do that? How to do that? For example, say typing. Some people, they're so fast in typing, and others are very slow. So those people who are slow, how do you make it fast? Keep practicing, keep practicing. Likewise, say the wisdom draws through learning, and wisdom draws through wisdom very slow. I can see that. Wisdom draws through learning, and wisdom draws through reflecting or reflection. These two must be made very fast through constant practice. Constant practice known as meditation. You're getting it? Meditation simply doesn't mean sit like this. This is not a meditation. Meditation means to practice this. Practice whatever you have learned constantly. That is known as meditation. With the constant practice, it becomes very fast. That is known as the wisdom drawn through meditation. Okay, so before we leave for today, one or two questions if you have. Questions are very important. Questions will wake us up. Okay, questions. Anyone? Raise hands. Okay, Kamalji. Let's all listen to the questions. Yes.
Geshe, you said that our negative emotions rise spontaneously. What is the role of the brain and memory in this?
Memory and the brain.
And the brain in spontaneous reactivity of negative emotions.
Yes. So basically, how our mind works, the mind and the brain, these two are like working together, hand in hand, the mind and the brain. So for the negativities, our brain is trained so well. Brain is trained so well so that it can activate the mind very effectively, and the mind can also activate the brain very effectively. Whereas for the virtues, our mind is not trained to activate the brain, and the brain is not so trained. So therefore, the brain is very slow, and the mind is also very slow with the virtues. So, and these two are mutually helping each other. Next question. Yes, Menu.
Many a times I feel I understand things intellectually, but when it comes to practice, it is entirely different.
Can you give me an example?
Mentally, I do understand I need to be happy, but there is a circumstance which will make me unhappy.
Can you give me a concrete example rather than just happy, unhappy?
A simple example, I miss my bus, I'm unhappy. I see some troubles coming in. Though I came very prepared for a journey which might bring me such adventures. But I am mentally prepared that I'll be happy in all circumstances. Intellectually, I do understand that. But when it comes to a particular circumstance, I become unhappy.
Okay, let's say missing a bus.
Example, yes.
Missing a bus, so it makes you unhappy.
Example, yes.
Then say,
Maybe I'm drawing on a paper, and I want to paint the rose red, and I see that I don't have a red color. So as simple as that, that makes me unhappy. Oh, I have to go to the market, buy it, and then I can make it. So that the time gap comes in.
okay, so they say real life, the real life, if possible, as I was constantly asking Minuji to make things concrete with the solid concrete example, is that real life is very complex. So there, okay, now I have to go to buy the red color, this and so on. So laziness can kick in. Laziness is another factor we need to get it off. It's not only, you know that if I do that very effectively, just run, get from the shop, I do it, it can be done. But the laziness is there within us. Laziness is another extremely bad the mental state which stops us from doing many virtues. Laziness. So now, how to get rid of the laziness also? For example, like many of us, it is so easy to say, yes, I will do it. But so difficult to say that I've done it. Why? To say I will do it is very easy. But I've done it is very difficult. Because you have to do it. I will do it. I will do it. To say that is very easy. To make promises is very easy. But to fulfill the promise is very difficult. So there, the laziness is involved. And how the laziness works. We also need to know how the laziness works. For example, so during our school days, approaching the exams, very serious annual exam, then you made your timetable, very rigid timetable. And the timetable works only for one day. And the next day, timetable flops. Resents? Yes, there's the element of impracticality, and the laziness need to combine together. You're getting it? So the thing is that therefore say oh, I have to go to hospital. Okay, let me say that if there is a snake around that door, I may say that, Sneha, there's a snake there, please remove this. And if the snake is here, will I say, Sneha, there's a snake here? What will I do, Minuji? Hey, Minuji.
I'll act on immediate basis.
Huh?
Act immediately.
Yes, I'll jump. I will not say, Sneha, there's a snake here. I'll jump. I get a sense of urgency. I feel the urgency. So, say, till we feel the urgency, the laziness will stop you from doing the good things. So we have to create a sense of urgency, sense of purpose within our mind. And that too also is just the day one, and we have only 5 days. But if the time permits, we have to study the psychology, how the mind works. How the mind works, which makes our mind lazy. How to work with the mind, or to see how the laziness can be removed in your psyche. How to do all these mechanisms we have to learn. If we get time, I will go through these. These are very precious things. And of course, the brochure. And of course, we have the courses. Tibet House, we're giving the online courses, offline, both are there. And the brochures are here. So all these questions, how with the study of psychology, to study how the the mind works to create laziness and how to get rid of your laziness, working on the mind. So all these will be taught under these courses. So these brochures will be distributed to you in a while. Okay. Maybe last question. Okay, Kabirji.
Geshe-la, you gave the example of the true nature of the mind being clear and knowing, like the water. Then why is it that the mind seems to veer so easily towards the negative, like the mud or whatever the afflictions are, and it's so much harder to do the learning and the studying and the reflecting? If that's the true nature, then shouldn't that come more easily rather than the countless eons of these negative things that have to be kind of dealt with?
Okay. What is the true nature of the water? Purity or the dirt? The mic? Purity.
Purity.
But if there is a true nature, why the Yamuna River in Delhi? Why, the dirt automatically removes and true nature comes out very easily? The thing is that whichever we are more familiar with, a mind, whichever our mind is more familiar with, the mind will go in this direction. So our mind is so habituated with the negativities. For example, anger, attachment, jealousy and so forth, sadness, and believing in the dream as real. So we're so addicted to these that we are prone in this direction. So what we said, study, reflection, meditation, through this we can undo that. Then our familiarization, our familiarity with the virtues, when that gets intensified, then we reach to a certain level whereby non-virtues will become very difficult and virtues will become very spontaneous. It'll happen. Okay, any question from the Anilas? Anilas, any question? Huh? Anla, no question. Yeah, Anla question and the me question me Anla. To at Tariman to Sangi to Okisha, Anazo, Sangi to Okisha, Pugana Lamnalab, Mangel Lamnalab, Inji Lamnalab, Kalamnalab. Yeah, that day. Yes.
How to understand subjective? Everything is subjective when objective reality already exists, as we see it.
How do we know that everything is subjective? Is your question?
Yes.
Okay. So today I've shown you the pizza, P-I-Z-A. No, P-I-Z-Z-A, pizza. Not the real pizza. You're getting it? Now, the Abhinash. Abhinash is asking, don't give me the pizza with letter pizza. Real pizza, give me. How do we know that everything is subjective? This is very important. And I'm sure Abhinash is a part of Narendra course and this C, right? So at the moment we are doing Bodhicitta. So hopefully after this, I'm not too sure whether we're doing the Terran system. Let's see. So this question is very important. How do we know that things are all subjective? This is extremely important, and we have to study this systematically. The text, for the time being, I would suggest the book that would be good for our reference would be His Holiness the Dalai Lama's book, How to See Yourself as You Really Are. Let me repeat it. How to see yourself as you really are. If you can study this, and Abhinash, if you have questions related to this, I'll be happy to help you. Okay, so this book would be very helpful, and later on you must read, you must study, not just read, study Acharya Dharmakirti, Acharya Chandrakirti's text. Acharya Chandrakirti's text, Entry into the Middle Way. Okay, His Holiness's book, the title is How to See Yourself, How to See Yourself as You Really Are. How to see yourself as you really are. And Acharya Chandrakirti's text, Entry into the Middle Way. entry into the middle way. In Tibetan, Umajubba. In Tibetan, Umajubba. Acharya chanting this text. We have to study this. If you really want to know how ontologically speaking, everything is empty of objective reality, everything is subjective. For this, you have to study these texts. Okay. Any more questions? If not, we'll stop here and let's turn to page 52. Page 52. For the end declaration prayer. Okay. Page, hard copy, page 52. Okay, no doubt that we have accumulated so much merit by attending this class, and the whatever merit that we've gathered, let us dedicate that His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the true source of joy and happiness on this earth, that he lives long, and that his wishes be fulfilled spontaneously. And also let us pray that the land of Tawang may have such teachings on emptiness and bodhicitta as much as possible, so that common people can understand the true intent of the Buddha's teachings, compassion, bodhicitta, compassion, wisdom, of emptiness, that the miseries, the tears, the miseries will stop and be able to become like a sun to help many other sentient beings from removing this suffering. So let us pray that the teaching on the wisdom of emptiness and the teaching on bodhicitta flourish in the minds of all demon sentient beings. I dedicate the merit thus gathered towards the realization that is in the prayers of Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas over 3 times, and to the upholding of the doctrine of scripture and insight. May in all lives, through the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, purify in the 2 stages. From our 2 collections, vast space that have amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may have become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds wisdom is blinded by ignorance. Yatha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgate Bodhisvatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvaha. Okay, tomorrow they just bring any question that you might have, related to Buddhism, your practical life, application of Buddhism into your practical life, or science, whatever. It doesn't mean that I should have all the answers. This is not necessary. These questions are very important, that all of us, the more we hear these questions, the more our cognitive thinking will be activated. So this is the hope to understand the emptiness. And on that basis, your compassion, the universal compassion, can become more profound. Okay, 3 prostrations together.